Good morning from our NewsNation headquarters in Chicago. I'm Nick Smith in for Marni Hughes. Merry Christmas. This isn't just one of the busiest travel days of the year. Right now, it's on track to be record-breaking. Right now, you're looking at a live look at how the skies are faring this morning. This is that flight aware map that we talk about all the time. It shows the location of any delays or flight cancellations. And right now, good news because it's mostly green. So that means minor delayed or few canceled flights. And this comes after a rocky start for folks flying American Airlines Tuesday. A technical glitch forced the nation's largest airline to issue an hour-long ground stop. That disrupted travel plans for thousands of flyers on Christmas Eve.
My wife actually texted us and said there was a nationwide American Airlines technical glitch that was shutting down flights everywhere. So we were pretty worried that we would be like many hours delayed. But an hour and a half was reasonable for Christmas Eve and everything. But we were pretty worried it would be a long one.
Well, this morning, NewsNation's Mills Hayes is at one of the country's busiest airports, Chicago O'Hare International. Mills, how are things looking for travelers today? Because flight delays will be a big bah humbug.
Yeah, Nick, they would definitely not be what anyone would want, especially on Christmas Day. But the good thing is it does look like most people were on the nice list this year because we are looking like it's going to be smooth sailing. Now, I don't want to jinx it, so let's just keep all in mind. But so far, we only have about 700 cancellations, or excuse me, 700 delays. That's important to differentiate. Now, 700 delays and a little under 100 cancellations. Now, to give you guys some perspective as far as delays go, a typical day, you on average would see about 4,500 delays. So to see less than 700 isn't really that bad. And so we are starting to see more traffic come in and out of the Chicago airport. But TSA says that we are expected to see record-breaking numbers as far as people traveling. About 40 million people expected to go through TSA screening, and then another 120 million that will be on the road and at least driving up to 50 miles. But we also spoke with people here at the airport about, you know, what were their favorite traditions when it comes to Christmas. And here's what some of them said.
Our Christmas dinner with the fam. My mom chefs up a nice, big spread.
Our Christmas Eve tradition every year, we do the 12 Polish dishes and then we get together. Yep. And yeah, it's really nice.
And most people we talked to said that they weren't experiencing any delays or cancellations or issues. However, we did talk to a couple who had a family member that was flying out of Dallas, whose flight was delayed about 5 hours to Hawaii. So there are some delays. They're mostly hitting places like Dallas, Houston, and New York. So if you do have a flight out of those airports, then definitely make sure you check that misery map before you head to the airport and figure out whether or not you've got a delay. Nick?
And Mills, you said American Airlines blamed yesterday's grounding on tech issues. Now that those past 24 hours of chaos are behind us, what are the days ahead looking like for travel?
Well, the next coming days are going to be really the biggest days, especially starting tomorrow and then this weekend. Airline experts say that Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to be the biggest days. So if you do have a flight that's on the weekend, probably a good idea to go early. And also a good thing this year with the holidays is that Christmas fell in the middle of the week. And so more people will be able to kind of, spread out their travel plans instead of everyone just trying to get in on the weekend. So the hope is that there will be less traffic at the airports. Now, it is going to be a lot more people on the roads, though, as I was mentioning, AAA saying that about 120 million people expected to hit the roads. And we do see that gas on average is a little bit cheaper than it was last year. So that is good news for a lot of people that will be hitting the roads. Nick?
Good news indeed. Mills Hayes live for us this morning. Mills, thank you. If you're still getting to your holiday destination today, meteorologist Max Saparis has you covered on how weather could impact your travel. Max, good morning. And Max is telling me he's not really wanting to give us any bad news, but Max, I'm hoping you'll tell me that people will be able to get to where they need to go.
Most are traveling just fine today, especially compared to yesterday, Nick, when we had all those travel troubles from 3 separate storm systems. Today, a lot better, though we do have a new issue, which is dense fog. Hopefully, Rudolph and his red nose was guiding Santa nicely last night, because look at these fog advisories. 13 million Americans in the central U.S. impacted by this from the Texas Panhandle north through the Canada border, and you can see the visibility dropping right now. We're down to 2 miles in Omaha, 2 miles in Oklahoma City, but good news for Sioux Falls and out towards Wichita. Your visibility has actually come up a little bit from 0 miles up to a single mile right now. I want to point out Kansas City, 3 miles visibility, and you can certainly see it's a foggy view above me on this Earth Cam shot of downtown Kansas City. Holiday lights are turned off now that we've passed sunrise, but that sunrise giving us a good look at the horizon, which is certainly shrouded in cloud cover. Those buildings not able to be seen too well. Meanwhile, another storm system, this one's moving towards the western United States with an atmospheric river event causing widespread winter storm warnings and heavy snow along with those gusty winds. If you are traveling into the western United States into the coming days, I'll let the clock run here for forecast snow totals, which shows up to 4 feet accumulations possible through the Cascade Mountains, 1 to 2 feet in the Sierra Nevada mountains, and then through the rest of the Rockies, you can get a foot or 2 of snow as well. So again, if you are traveling in those higher elevations, you will certainly be impacted. But all that snow did do wonders for us. If you wanted that white Christmas, it's certainly set in stone now. You see that winter wonderland view out the window as we look over the Rockies. Meanwhile, the northern United States, like in the far northern plains and parts of the interior of New England, getting that white Christmas with about 26% of us seeing that, which is an improvement to last Christmas, where only 17% of us woke up with snow on the ground. The reason why most are missing out on that white Christmas again this year is simply because it's too warm. Check out the temps this afternoon. We're all going to be above freezing for the most part, including New York City, mid-30s. That'll thaw away that light snow we got yesterday. Rapid City, South Dakota, in the 50s. Meanwhile, we're seeing upper 70s and some 80s down into Florida. That's certainly where you want to go for that Christmas warmth. How about travel delays? Looks like we are going to still be experiencing the biggest issues along the western United States with that storm system continuing to slam through. Parts of Texas could see more impacts today, especially towards Houston with some lingering showers and storms. But man, Nick, this does look a lot better than what we were talking about yesterday. The entire eastern seaboard now seeing green plains as that storm system moves out. So I think that's a pretty nice Christmas gift, don't you think?
I agree. And as long as Santa was able to get to where he needed to be, it's all good. Max Paris in the Weather Center. Max, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
President-elect Donald Trump is pushing back hard against President Biden's move to commute the sentences of nearly all federal death row inmates. The president-elect is promising to reverse course once he takes office, saying he'll order the Justice Department to vigorously pursue the death penalty and bring back law and order. Mr. Biden's decision to spare the lives of 37 federal prisoners has drawn support from criminal justice advocates, former prosecutors, and even Pope Francis. But Mr. Trump says, quote, it makes no sense. Our Tom Dempsey is in Washington this morning with more on how this is shaping up to be a major policy clash as the inauguration nears. Now, Tom, Mr. Trump isn't just talking about ending what Mr. Biden has done as far as the moratorium on executions. He wants to expand the federal death penalty to cover more crimes.
That's right. He wants to expand the operations. Nick, good morning. Good morning from Washington, D.C., where in less than a month, the presidential inauguration will be held. And now President-elect Donald Trump is saying that as soon as he takes office after the inauguration, he plans to push the Department of Justice to pursue the federal death penalty. This is obviously in direct response to the big announcement from President Joe Biden earlier this week, which he announced that he would be sparing the lives of almost every federal death row inmate. But in a post to Truth Social, President-elect Trump directly responded to all that, saying, quote, as soon as I am inaugurated, I will direct the Justice Department to vigorously pursue the death penalty to protect American families and children from violent rapists, murderers, and monsters. We will be a nation of law and order again. In his announcement sparing the lives of 37 federal death row inmates, though, and instead commuting them to life sentences without the possibility of parole, President Biden called out concerns over President-elect Trump possibly ending a moratorium on executions, like you said, Nick, possibly expanding the use of the federal death penalty to include drug smugglers and human traffickers. This announcement brought mixed reactions, with groups like the ACLU showing support. In a statement, the ACLU executive director writing, quote, President Biden has reaffirmed the power of redemption over retribution and reminds us that state-sanctioned killing does not make us safer. The ACLU has long long advocated against the death penalty and shed light on its fundamental flaws. It is error-prone, racially biased, and a drain on public resources. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, right now about 53% of Americans support the use of the death penalty. But a recent Gallup poll also showed that more than half of U.S. adults 18 to 49 oppose the death penalty. Nick?
Tom, quick question, though. What more do we know about the inmates who Mr. Biden spared?
Yeah, so there were 40 names on the federal death row list, and several of the cases involved murdering a fellow inmate in a federal prison, as well as a murder during an armed bank robbery. One case we wanted to dive into dates back to 2017 out of South Carolina when Brandon Council murdered 2 women during a bank robbery. He received a federal death sentence 2 years later. In a recent interview with the South Carolina newspaper, the Post and Courier, the daughter of one of the victims said about President Biden's announcement, quote, "It is absolutely cruel. This decision would have gutted me anyway, but to do it 2 days before Christmas, it literally feels like a Christmas gift to murderers." 40 names on that federal death row list. 37 will have their sentences commuted, but 3 names that will not see any impact from all this. Dylan Roof, the man behind that tragic Charleston, South Carolina shooting. Robert Bowers behind the tragic Tree of Life synagogue shooting from years ago, as well as Dzhokhar Tsarnaev connected to the Boston Marathon bombing. Nick?
Tom, this is definitely something we'll keep an eye on. Tom Dempsey live for us this morning. Tom, thank you. This is also raising big questions about the future of criminal justice policy in the United States. Earlier, I spoke with Cheyenne Daniels, race and politics reporter for our partners at thehill.com. We wanted her take on how this fits into Mr. Trump's broader law and order strategy.
What we're seeing right now, right, is Biden has definitely reversed course from what we've heard from his time in the Senate. And this was part of a promise that he made on the campaign trail. He came out, he said he was against the death penalty. But as for Donald Trump, we know how important law and order is to him. He has used that phrase both in his first term in office, he's used it on the campaign trail. He really wants to speak to his base, that base of those who really support law enforcement, the base who really says, you know, we need to take steps to make sure that we're not seeing crime in the streets. We need to bring down the crime in neighborhoods. And so Trump is really trying to speak to those who voted for him, and he's trying to deliver for the constituents that said that is what we want. The curious thing that we'll have to see is as the sort of debate between whether or not the federal death penalty is appropriately used, those racial biases we heard the ACLU mentioned, that's all going to come up if Donald Trump decides to expand where the death penalty can be applied.
And Cheyenne, even with all of that, you know, Mr. Trump making it clear that he wants to follow through with these the executions as they are adjudicated. Mr. Biden's clemency announcement was actually backed by advocacy groups, including the ACLU, like you mentioned, but even Pope Francis. How might this support bolster his stance in the face of that criticism?
Yes. So it's definitely, I think, an interesting moment that we're seeing, right? It's not often that you hear the Pope come out in support of a president, right? That's not usually something that we hear. So that's a very big thing for Biden to have behind him. And remember, at this point, frankly, Biden has nothing to lose. He is leaving office. It's unlikely we'll see him run again in the future. And at this point, he's trying to make do on promises that he made to certain groups that he campaigned to. And many are pointing to Black Americans. Many are saying, you know, Black Americans helped put you in the White House in 2020. And Black Americans are those who are disproportionately affected by the criminal justice system, including the death penalty. So with Trump coming in now to have to try to sort of battle against that praise that Biden is now receiving, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult than he expects, even with control, GOP control of the House and the Senate.
But Cheyenne, you know, we can remember too, though, when Mr. Trump actually supported reducing sentences for some who have been incarcerated. I remember when he worked with Kim Kardashian to release different prisoners. So we do know that he has shown compassion for those who have experienced what some have considered ethical or racial biases because of sentencings. But what legal or ethical challenges could Mr. Trump face if he seeks to expand the death penalty to crimes like drug trafficking and things like that?
Yes, and this is going to be, I think, the very big question, especially as Trump is making promises for day one. I think that there really maybe isn't as much legal basis as he expects. Remember, Trump does like to say things, right? He likes to say those controversial statements. He likes to get the retweets or the reposts or whatever it is. And so I think that he might be making promises right now, but I think what it comes down to is those aren't promises that we're going to be able to see. Most of those that we're seeing in these federal death sentences, as we heard, were those who had murdered somebody, even if it was in part of an armed robbery, in part of drug trafficking. It was attached to that murder. And so I think that just trying to instill a death penalty sentence for somebody who is involved in a nonviolent crime is going to be met with a lot of backlash from those advocacy groups, as well as those who are on Capitol Hill. I think that, you know, even though Trump has the support of the House and the Senate, there are still some in those areas of his own party who are not always 100% behind him.
California Governor Gavin Newsom reportedly weighing a block on Trump's mass deportation plans, according to an internal memo from the governor's office obtained by Politico. Mr. Newsom's administration is drafting plans to help those threatened by the mass deportations. That plan aims to connect at-risk individuals with legal services, schools, unions, and more. Mr. Trump has said he plans to use the military to carry out mass deportations for those who are in the country illegally once he is in office. Starbucks baristas back on the job today following a major strike across the nation, where those workers' demands are this morning. Plus, will Netflix fumble the ball? What the company is doing to prevent any buffering issues while streaming today's NFL games. To excess drinking, we're debunking some of the most popular health myths around the holidays.
Speak now or forever hold your...
Only took 4-hour cough liquid? Unlike Robitussin DM, Delsum Liquid offers 12 hours of cough relief all day or night. Delsum, cough crisis averted.
Go, friends, gather! Kiki, Chris, Jason! Whoop.
Friends, let's go, friends!
Hold on to your dice.
Nice frosting, friend. Thank you.
How we doing, Kiki?
Tastes like money to me.
I can't go back to jail!
Wait, did you rob my bank?
Are we winning? Money, power, friendship. Let's go!
It's the most wonderful time with the kids jingle. Be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful.
Whether your phone's broken or old, we've got you. With Verizon, anyone can trade in any phone, any condition. It's your last chance to get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. And iPad and Apple Watch Series 10, all three on us. That's up to $2,000 in value, only on Verizon.
Hello? Hey, can you speak French?
Who, me? I know a few words.
If you're struggling to speak a new language, you should try Babbel, a learning platform designed by over 200 language experts. It's like having your own personal language coach. Babbel offers live classes with expert teachers for real-world conversation practice. It's totally flexible, so you can learn at your own pace. And with the right practice and coaching, start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Go to Babbel.com to claim your limited time offer today.
When my hair started thinning, I didn't want to hear the wisecracks.
I was ignoring my hair because I was a full-time working mother, but luckily I found Nutrafol.
My hair was getting stronger and thicker.
And I finally feel like myself again.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want. Sling let you do that. Yeehaw! I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for and let me pause my subscription when I want and have hundreds of free channels. Sling lets you do that too.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
Kind of needs to be more squiggly. Perfect. So now, do you have a driver's license?
Oh, what did you get us?
With the click of a pen, you can get a new Volkswagen at the Sign Then Drive event. Lease a 2024 Tiguan for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing. Limited inventory available.
Starbucks baristas are returning to work this morning following a massive strike at shops across the country. Workers staged a walkout on Tuesday at more than 300 locations in over 40 different states. And though the strike has ended, the company and the union still are at odds over contract negotiations with employees demanding better wages and working conditions. NewsNation's Caitlin Becker is in New York with the very latest. Caitlin, this is a story you've been following from the beginning. What is the latest?
Well, Nick, the baristas are back to work. Everything is brewing again as of this morning, which is a welcome surprise for everybody who needs their Christmas jolt of caffeine. We've seen a ton of people going in and out of Starbucks already this Christmas morning. And the good thing here is the 5-day strike has ended after those stalled contract negotiations, and the baristas are ready to go back to the bargaining table. So that's where we're at this point. Now, this strike began 5 days ago in just 3 cities, and then it expanded out from LA, Chicago, and Seattle, all the way to, looking at this map right here, 43 states, more than 300 stores, 5,000 baristas walked off the job. Now, in a thread on X, Workers United outlined the reason for the strike, saying, quote, "We're fighting for a living wage, fair scheduling, and accessible benefits at a time when Starbucks seems to prefer investing in CEO Brian Nichols' $113 million compensation package." Now, here's what the union is pushing for. They want an immediate 64% pay hike in the minimum wage for hourly workers. But, you know, Starbucks is calling these demands unsustainable. Now, the coffee chain is really seeking to downplay the effects of the work stoppage. In a memo to employees earlier in the week, the EVP Sarah Kelly said, quote, "The overwhelming majority of Starbucks stores across the country have opened as planned and are busy with customers enjoying the holidays." Now, the union believes that the strike did really move the needle. Starbucks kind of downplaying it, like I said, seeing it more as a nuisance than anything else. But the union tells NewsNation that they are ready to get their ducks in a row, get back to the bargaining table, and really make some strategy for what is coming next. Nick.
Caitlin, it wasn't only Starbucks workers who were demanding changes. Amazon workers were also on strike this holiday season. Any update on how that's going?
Yeah, they're on strike, and they still are currently on strike, though. Nick, we're looking at today, Christmas Day, no picket lines right now. Everyone took a temporary break for the holiday, but they will be back. And if you're kind of comparing these two, the demands are somewhat similar with these Amazon drivers striking. They're demanding, you know, things like better wages and better benefits, as well as having their union recognized by Amazon. That's an important sticking point here. Specifically with this case, when we're talking about money, they're getting paid roughly $22 an hour, which they say is significantly less than what UPS drivers are making. They're using that as sort of the benchmark there. But what makes this a little more complex is the fact that the Teamsters Union, which represents the 10,000 Amazon drivers, according to Amazon, they don't even work for the company. They're basically saying the Teamsters are representing people that aren't Amazon employees. They see them as subcontractors because they get paid through a third party. So that just adds another layer of complexity to this already pretty complex issue. Now, as I said, a temporary halt to this strike, but they are going to be back up and running. The Teamsters Union said yesterday on Christmas Eve that they are vowing to have Amazon pay up, whereas Amazon is saying this really isn't that big of a deal. They're kind of brushing it off, and they said that the strike had nothing to do with impacting holiday deliveries. Nick?
Caitlin Becker with the very latest. Caitlin, thank you so much. Netflix is making streaming history today. The streaming service hosting 2 of its first NFL matchups between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, followed by the Baltimore Ravens, who will take on the Houston Texans. Netflix not taking any chances this time after some tech issues during the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight last month. That matchup capped at 65 million streams, with nearly 85,000 reporting tech problems. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer joins us with the very latest. Brooke, they know that their reputation is on the line, and they're going to hear about it online if they don't pull this off. Are they ready?
Yeah, and there are millions of people expected to be at home on their couches, ready to watch these back-to-back NFL games. Netflix, for their part, says they are ready to go. They say their system has been stress tested and then some. Today, actually marking one of Netflix's biggest days since they got up and running back in the 1990s. We've got a little graphic for you. These are the two games, the doubleheader of NFL games playing today. The first game starts at 1 p.m. Eastern. You've got Pittsburgh versus Kansas City. Then it's Baltimore versus Houston, where Netflix is actually expecting even more eyeballs thanks to a Beyonce halftime performance. That should happen around 5:45 p.m. Eastern time today. These back-to-back games, Nick, it's got Netflix's 300 million subscribers and NFL fans holding their breath. Netflix tried, and some might say failed, to stream a boxing match with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson last month. Viewers reported buffering, poor image quality, and audio problems. Netflix said at the time that its servers were just overwhelmed when about 65 million people tried to stream that fight. Today, Netflix says it's expecting about half that, but still about 35 million people expected to watch these NFL games today, Nick.
And Brooke, you know, that leads me to the next question that everyone at home is wondering right now. What has Netflix done to address those issues that we saw last month?
Exactly. They say they're ready. So what exactly have they done differently this time around? They say they've done a few things. Netflix says that it's revamped its content delivery, encoding, and streaming protocols, again, to handle the roughly 35 million people expected to watch these games today. There's also a lot at stake here, though, for Netflix. Live sports are a key part of Netflix's growth strategy, but this is also the first time that the streaming giant will feature commercial breaks during a live stream, making this a significant test for their ad business as well. So there's a lot of money, a lot of happy customers on the line as Netflix today looks to do something it's never done before. Nick?
And we're drawing down to the hour. We'll see if they're able to do it. Brooke Schaefer with the latest. Brooke, thank you. Here at News Nation, we're focused on you, the things you care about, and the stories that matter to you. And whether it was through town halls, social media, phone calls, or in your community, we took the time to tell your stories this year. Here's Nichole Berlie.
From our headquarters in Chicago to New York, Washington, and in communities across the country, News Nation is a voice for all Americans, focused on the people behind the stories, meeting them where they are, and taking on the issues that matter.
We have a vote down here, too, and we matter.
Like the value of learning trades as opposed to a four-year college or university, alongside Dirty Jobs host Mike Rowe.
What did you decide to do, and what has it meant for your life?
Right, I'm a mechanic. I work on cars. I love working on cars, and I thank God for that ability to do so. When I was going to college, originally straight out of high school, I mean, I was taught, hey, go 4 years. Why would you want to do that? What, the job that you mechanic, why would you want to do that? Go to the college. So I did. I followed the route. I went to UC Irvine, and I did mechanical engineering. And while I was there, I figured that, hey, I'm going to go check out some jobs for what I'm studying for. I went to a job fair, and I told them, hey, I want to work on cars, and they just kind of laughed at me. And my family, my whole heritage has been based on, working a skill, having trades. And so when they did that, it felt like a personal attack to my whole family. They said, wait, that means a lot to me. Those are my heroes, My grandfather does that, my dad does that. And so I just said, you know what, now I'm out. I didn't see that there was any pride in that, but I didn't think of that too hard, personally. I just said, I got to go. I got to do what I got to do. It is the land of the brave, and I got to be able to go out there and be brave enough to show that pride,
Mastering a skill that's in demand can put you on a path to something that looks a hell of a lot like prosperity.
Or the situation at the U.S.-Mexico border.
We are live tonight in Arizona and Texas at the border and are going to try something different this hour, right? It's not going to be about politics. We intentionally did not book a single politician. It's not going to be about the finger pointing. It's going to hopefully make us all a little bit more informed about what is actually happening at our southern border and maybe even spur some change.
We're going about 105 miles an hour. We are not in a pursuit, rather a response. They have 5 people who just breached the wall. We have already apprehended 2 of them on site, so we are rushing to get there before they get in a vehicle. If they get loaded up, then it becomes a bigger problem.
Shining a light on the stories and issues that impact you.
We don't have to get political. Beth, what is the feeling of the people there? Do they feel like the rest of the country is still paying attention?
I don't think so, no. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world right now, right?
And it was a big deal for quite a while, and it's a really big deal for us still here on the ground.
We bring important voices together to have a conversation.
We have something very different tonight here at News Nation. We invited left, right, reasonable, Republicans, Democrats, independents. They're all here and well filled out. I have co-hosts Bill O'Reilly and Stephen A. Smith. We've got Mark Cuban, Sarah Palin, Dana White, Geraldo, Bobby Kennedy Jr., Congressman Ro Khanna, Congressman Jared Moskowitz.
To agree and disagree with civility.
You're being beaten over the head with a very simple proposition. Who and what is worse? I have two overarching concerns, as I see it, all right? Why are we where we are? And then how do we get somewhere better?
I don't care whether you believe it or not.
He's been talking that way to me for 21 years.
And it still hasn't gotten through.
Is there anything that all your guests could agree on?
That CUOMO did a good job moderating.
Oh,
Decorum and decency towards our fellow men and women is an absolute must if we are going to prosper as a nation.
Despite its flaws, this is the greatest country in the world.
Amen.
And we're connecting with you, whether it's in person or on social media.
Here's our first question from X, all right, a post from user Elaine. If you became president, whom would you rely on for advice?
Well, you're looking at her right there in the front row.
Because no matter what side of the aisle you fall on or who you side with, your voice matters here.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you're going through this.
Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Holiday anxiety on the rise for many Americans, according to a new survey. After the break, a doctor gives us some tips to help you manage the holiday stress.
From celebration moments to joyride moments, your moments are worth protecting against RSV. RSV is a highly contagious virus. If you're 60 or older with certain chronic conditions, you're at higher risk of being hospitalized from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. You know how to protect against COVID and flu. So ask your pharmacist or doctor about scheduling Pfizer's RSV vaccine too, because moments like these matter.
I'm Jonathan Lawson, here to tell you about life insurance through the Colonial Penn program. If you're age 50 to 85 and looking to buy life insurance on a fixed budget, remember the 3 Ps.
The 3 what?
The 3 Ps.
What are the 3 Ps?
The 3 Ps of life insurance on a fixed budget are price, price, and price. A price you can afford, a price that can't increase, and a price that fits your budget.
I'm 54 and was a smoker, but quit. What's my price?
You can get coverage for $9.95 a month.
I'm 65, retired, and take medications. What's my price?
Also $9.95 a month.
I just turned 80 and I'm on a fixed income. What's my price?
$9.95 a month for you too. If you're age 50 to 85, call now about the #1 most popular whole life insurance plan available through the Colonial Penn program. Options start at $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. You cannot be turned down because of your health. No medical exam, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up for any reason. Options start at $9.95 a month. Plus, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. So call now for free information, and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record your important information and give helpful direction to your loved ones with your final wishes. And it's yours free, just for calling. So call now for free information.
Call 1-800-797-8989 for your free information and your free gift. That's 1-800-797-8989. There's no risk or obligation. 1-800-797-8989. Call now.
When our country needed you, you answered the call. You took the oath. You served. And you sacrificed to defend our great country. Visiting Angels knows veterans. You are the heroes among us. And we are honored to serve you.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
What if your body didn't have to hurt after being active? Introducing Stogo, the only apparel with adjustable medical-grade support designed to help you overcome injuries, minimize pain, and regain the confidence to get back out there. Stoko's supportive apparel is engineered with 90 feet of high-strength cables that reinforce the body and control dials that allow you to adjust the support. Stoko is trusted by professionals, world-class athletes, and weekend warriors who all want one thing: more activity and less pain. Learn more at Stoko.com.
If you use eye drops to help with dry eyes, listen up, because this is important. There's a recall for these Sustain lubricant eye drops, specifically the Ultra PF preservative-free dry eye relief kind. The recall comes after a consumer found some kind of foreign material in their eye drops. Just one lot, 10101, is being recalled. They will have an expiration date of September 2025. Now, the FDA says fungal contamination in products like these can threaten your vision, or worse.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
We're all in this together. Y'all remember that movie? If you're feeling a bit like Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation this holiday season, you are not alone. One study says statistically, you're probably more stressed about the holidays than you were last year. A study from the American Psychiatric Association found that a little more than 1 in 4 Americans say they are more stressed about the holidays this year than they were last year. Top stressors, according to the study, are some common ones that you might know, like 46% worrying about affording holiday gifts, 47% report being stressed about losing a loved one, and having a hard time getting along with family is on there too, as well as being worried about more specific things like discussing politics with family. Well, joining me now to help us navigate these stressful times, because we know we need help, is Dr. Renee Matthews. Dr. Matthews, good morning.
Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. These are things you've heard before. You know how people go into it. You have friends that have called you and say, Renee, girl, I can't deal with this. You know I'm about to go see my friends. They drive me crazy. How does all this stress affect the overall health of an individual?
Well, stress is just terrible, period. You know, cortisol levels, they increase obesity, blood pressure, and all these things. But we can do some things to avoid stress. Try to set boundaries. If you can't make it to every house, please don't sign up to make it to every house. Tell them, I'll see you maybe later in the holiday season, right? Prioritize sleep. People want to, go without sleeping during the holiday because of all of the preparation. No, you got to sleep. Losing sleep is going to lead to a whole lot of other things, high blood pressure, and all those things as well. So you got to sleep.
So those habits can help us avoid the stress when we're coping with stress, like you said, getting that sleep, don't overcommit to things, and literally setting those boundaries. And
even breathing exercises, just take a breath. Count to 10. Like you said, some of the people's stress is, it's family members. Okay, maybe you need to leave the room, count to 10, and just relax.
And that's a positive way, just breathing through it there. Are there other positive ways to deal with holiday stress? And what are your personal favorites? You say, Nick, if you use these tools, you'll be fine.
I think that starting out with a workout is a great way to start the day. So before the family comes, get in a workout. Let the bike, the tread, or whatever, let that be where you get rid of all that stress. And then hopefully you can enjoy the rest of your day. Preparation is always the key. So, today's Christmas, so you missed out on Christmas. But for New Year's, maybe you can prepare ahead of time the meal or whatever, make the reservations or whatever it is so that you don't have that stress level. And like I said, make a list. These are the houses that we're actually going to visit, and these are the houses we can actually visit because we have time. Because when you overcommit, then yes, you are stressed, especially if you're newlywed, and that means disappointing the in-laws,
Yeah, where you know you got to go. You know, your mama never did like me, but we're going to go to that house anyway there. Dr. Matthews, the American Psychiatric Association says people report being more stressed this year than last year. Why do you think that is? What has changed dramatically this year?
I think that, one, the huge thing was obviously something that happened last month, the election. There are still several households that are very much divided. So you don't know what you're walking into, or maybe you do know what you're walking into, and that's the problem. You know that the conversation is going to come up, and you know that so-and-so voted not the way that you voted, and they don't agree with what you agree with. So that conversation is going to come. So I think that is one of the major things that is different about this holiday season versus last year, is just the whole politics matter. And then also with the politics, a lot of people complain that the reason they voted a certain thing is because they felt that they didn't have any money. Okay, well, then there's that discussion.
Well, Dr. Matthews, I can tell you one thing that does not stress us out: listening to you. Dr. Renee Matthews, Merry Christmas to you and your family, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great one, and Happy New Year as well.
Same to you. The do's and don'ts of holiday parties. An etiquette expert has the tips to help you avoid being a headache on the holidays.
Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Call now for this free book on maximizing your income in retirement. Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from one of the nation's leading financial firms. That's right, free. This book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now, because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known truths we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity, and it's free. Call 800-379-4046. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched numerous products and summarized rates and benefits of annuities, all from Silac Insurance Company. Call 800-379-4046. That's 800-379-4046. Call now.
Pet owners know the struggle. Your best bud can track dirt, mud, sand, and all sorts of other gunk indoors. But now there's a simple solution that won't have you scrambling for the mop and bucket. It's Muddy Mat, the pet-perfect anti-mud mat that keeps your dog's paws so clean, it's like they're wiping them at the door. Muddy Mat surface is designed with thousands of advanced ultra-soft microfibers that are 5 times more absorbent than ordinary floor mats, trapping dirt and water, perfectly protecting the floor underneath, leaving your floors clean and dry. Its durable super grip underside means Muddy Mat stays put, even when your pal is tearing around. Perfect for any floor surface. Slip Muddy Mat under your pal's food dish to absorb runaway crumbs and water, or use it in the bathroom as a home base for drying off. Muddy Mat can even be a perfect addition to catch spills in the kitchen. Once Muddy Mat has trapped all the mess, just toss it in the washing machine. It's machine washable and dryable. So easy.
I love the Muddy Mat. There's no mud or dirt on the floor or on Piper's paws. It's on the Muddy Mat.
My mom used to make me clean up after something, and now I don't need to.
Being able to keep that mop and bucket put away is a lifesaver.
Muddy Mat is the simple anti-mud mat that also stops dirt, grass, sand, and more at the door. Stop wasting money on those ordinary mats. Super absorbent and built to last, Muddy Mat lets you spend less time mopping and more time romping with your four-legged friend. Reduce the mess caused by your pet and get the easy solution to keeping any of your floors clean and dry. Call or go online to order your revolutionary Muddy Mat right away. Through this exclusive introductory offer, we're giving a massive discount. See how you can get 1 Muddy Mat completely free. Order 2 and get 1 free for only $19.95 each. Buy 2 Muddy Mats and get 1 free for only $19.95 each.
Visit shopmuddymat.com or call 1-800-815-6313.
Used for 2 weeks, now it's a $1,500 coat rack. Didn't even learn smoke on the water. Broke her pinky. Pulled her groin. Glued it to the table. Babble? Interesting. Can she even speak a word of Spanish?
Lo siento, ¿qué dijiste?
Wait, really?
Oye, son solo 15 minutos al día.
Start learning today at Babbel.com.
And spread the word that I will have my digital camera, and I'll be taking pictures all along the way. And the best and craziest thing that happens will be on the cover of the newsletter. Incentive.
You do realize that we can't serve liquor at the party.
Yeah, I know. Damn it. Stupid corporate wet blankets. Like booze ever killed anybody.
A good example of what advice you should not listen to this holiday season. With office parties getting underway and friends and family beginning to gather once again, we have some do's and don'ts to help navigate it all. Our Marni Hughes spoke with founder of Old Soul Etiquette and certified etiquette trainer, who's also the author of What Do I Do? Every Wedding Etiquette Question Answered, Mariah Grumet, to break it all down.
Whether it's an office party or a family and friends party, what's the biggest mistake most people make going into these events?
Marni, thank you so much for having me. So obviously this is a time for us to gather, celebrate the holidays, but we always want to represent ourselves well. So we want to make sure that we're engaging in the proper type of conversation, that we're not drinking too much, that we're not making good decisions. And again, being gracious guests, whether that's at work or at a friend or family member's home.
So let's take this one at a time. First, just general party tips. You say RSVP in a timely manner. What does that look like?
As soon as you get the invitation, if you have the luxury of knowing whether or not you'll be able to attend right away, let your host know. They are counting on your response to plan their party accordingly.
All right, 10-minute grace period. Bring a host gift. What are some good ideas for host and hostess gifts?
My go-to is a set of cocktail napkins. If you want to go the more inexpensive route, paper cocktail napkins are great. Or if you're looking for maybe a nicer gift, if it's a closer friend or family member, linen cocktail napkins. I try and stay away from bringing any kind of food or drink that I haven't been previously asked to bring or arranged with the host prior to the party.
Okay, candle. I always bring candles. That's something nice they can use later. You don't bring uninvited guests. I'm curious how often this happened, and is there a right way to go about it if given enough time you could ask, or do you just stay away from it?
There's definitely a range of formality when it comes to holiday parties. You know, it could be a casual open house style or something more formal that takes place at a venue. You want to make sure that when you receive the invitation, you understand exactly who is invited. It's best not to ask the host to bring any extra guests, but if you're unsure exactly who is invited, be sure to double check with them.
The other piece of advice you have is offer a lending hand at the end of the night or throughout the night. What does that look like? And you don't want to offend somebody and keep asking them, what can I do? What can I do?
We always want to offer to help our host with anything that they may need. However, it's super important that we respect their wishes. If they insist they do not want or need any help, we don't want to keep pushing or take it upon ourselves to start doing things around the home. We want to respect our hosts when we're in their space at their event.
So office parties, again, read the invite clearly, RSVP in a timely manner, but also be mindful of alcohol consumption. I mean, that's a big one.
You know, when it comes to office parties, this is a time where we are together with people that we see every day. So it's natural for us to want to really celebrate with them. However, you're still representing yourself as a professional. So we want to make sure that, yes, have fun, be present with your coworkers, but ensure that you're remembering that you're still at a work event. And, you know, drinking too much could lead to something potentially dangerous for your career.
It's the season of giving still ahead. How one group is providing relief and a home for the holidays to veterans impacted by Hurricane Helene. You're watching NewsNation Live. We'll be back with more.
Speak now or forever hold your...
Only took 4-hour cough liquid? Unlike Robitussin DM, Delsum Liquid offers 12 hours of cough relief all day or night. Delsum, cough crisis averted.
Stay tuned to get this knife set free from granite stone. Does cooking with your old pans feel like a kitchen battle? Scratches here, stuck on food there, and burnt on debris everywhere. You need to bring in battle-tested pans with armor. You need Granite Stone Armor Max, the revolutionary cookware set with 4 durable layers of ultra non-stick. So slick, virtually nothing nothing sticks. No oil or butter needed. Granite Stone Armor Max is the fast, easy way to make your family 5-star gourmet meals that slide right out. Forged from durable aluminum with a hard anodized exterior, then coated with 1, 2, 3, 4 Armor Max layers to create our most durable, ultra non-stick granite stone pans ever. In fact, they're 800% longer lasting. They're oven rated up to 500 degrees and come with tempered glass, easy pour and strain lids. Plus, all Granite Stone cookware is 100% metal utensil and dishwasher safe. Look, you'd expect to pay up to $500 for a professional quality cookware set, and you still wouldn't get 4 layers. But during this special TV introduction, you can get the Granite Stone Armor Max set not for 5, 4, or even 300, but for just 5 easy payments of $39.99. And for everyone who orders today, we're going to drop 1 payment. You get it all for just 4 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll include this razor-sharp 6-piece knife set free. But this deal keeps getting stronger. You'll get our Armor Max Deep Steam and Fry Pan set yours absolutely free. That's an incredible 20-piece Granite Stone Armor Max set, all for just 4 easy payments of $39.99. Plus, we'll ship your entire order free. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-453-1595 or order online at buyarmormax.com. So call 1-800-453-1595 or go to buyarmormax.com.
Watch this. Witness what happens to this woman's bags under her eyes in an actual time lapse in just minutes. The problem will disappear before your eyes with a revolutionary topical formulation that works in just minutes, and the effects will last for hours. Over 1 million people are using this topical technique to visually reduce puffiness and bags, even fine lines and wrinkles on the face and forehead. Introducing Plexiderm. Jump on board and say yes to this amazing $14.95 Plexiderm trial. Order right now. We'll pay your shipping.
Go, friends, gather! Kiki, Chris, Jason!
Whoop. Friends, let's go, friends!
Buddy, power, friendship, let's go! Give it to me.
I love my work caring for people. I often assist women who struggle with urinary incontinence, women who have fallen trying to reach the bathroom, or who have damaged skin from too much wetness. It can take a toll on them. At home, I worried for my mother. A lack of sleep due to bladder leakage affected her life. That's why I'm so glad the PureWick system is available for home use. It's an innovative option for women who experience moderate to severe bladder leakage. This external system uses a soft, flexible wick placed outside the body to draw urine away from the body and into a collection canister. It's non-invasive and designed to keep the skin dry and stay in place. We trust it to help her throughout the night, so we're all better rested and can enjoy the things we love together.
Order yours online at purewick@home.com or call 800-508-6010 today. New external catheters for women and men available for home use. Call 800-508-6010 today.
Welcome back. Hurricane Helene leaving devastation not only in North Carolina, but across a vast stretch of Florida to Tennessee back in September. Now, floods washing away homes and cars. With the holidays upon us, many people are still rebuilding their lives, but there are people working to help those who are in need. Organizations like Veterans Healing Farm in Western North Carolina say since the hurricane, they've served bigger needs than ever before, with a tighter budget as well, offering therapeutic workshops, wellness retreats, and more to veterans and their families in need. They say especially this time of year, veterans struggle with PTSD, which is why events like their Friendsgiving you see here are one of the many ways they're working to give veterans a place to belong for the holidays in the aftermath of Helene. Earlier on News Nation, Executive Director of Veterans Healing Farm, Alan Yeck, spoke about the hurricane's impact on their operation.
We moved into our new forever home. So we purchased this home and actually moved in 10 days before Helene hit. And we had not started unpacking our pods into our new home yet when Hurricane Helene hit. So what I had laid out as phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, interior, exterior, the best laid plans of mice and men out the window. And at that time, our focus was how can we help our community? And there's places of complete devastation. in Bat Cave, in Swannanoa, just completely gone. And yet people are still there and trying to survive. And so we were doing runs to Charlotte, picking up food and supplies, picking up camp showers, anything that we could help, and running them back to different distribution centers or directly driving them to veterans' homes. So that's our whole focus shifted at that moment to the community. We also had a group of veterans. There were so many veterans that came in long before FEMA. I mean, within the next day, you had your neighbors with you, some of those veterans, and then within days later, veterans were coming from all over the country with chainsaws, with heavy equipment, before anyone else got in and freeing up and helping people.
We'll be right back.
Back pain. When you've got it, you know it. Introducing the X-Back from CopperFit, our groundbreaking technology designed for compression support of your lower back and core like you've never experienced before. Engineered with our most innovative, patent-pending, Advanced X compression system, the X-Back evenly distributes the support across a broader surface area of your back for relief of lower back aches and pains.
The new belt is fantastic. I feel a bigger area of support. Immediately, there was something different about this.
A super lightweight mesh fabric, ventilated for unmatched breathability to increase airflow and release excess heat.
You have to try it. You haven't felt anything that's going to give you the kind of support and relieve the back pain that you have, because it is unbelievable.
Our copper-infused fabric, made with the most advanced materials for superior support and lighter than air comfort.
It's just relaxing all that tension that you get.
Wow, oh, that feels great.
I've tried a lot of belts in the past. Nothing like this.
I have a history of back issues, man, and this is really hard to believe what I'm feeling right now.
An orthopedic-designed alloy support panel and 4 built-in flexible stabilizers to help improve alignment and promote better posture.
Usually when I have long triathlons, there's pain. With the belt, there's absolutely no pain. For me, it was like, okay, is this really happening? I really haven't felt anything like this before.
The all-new X-Back from CopperFit, the most effective, breathable, customizable support for relief of lower back pain you will ever wear. Guaranteed or your money back. Get yours now at getxback.com for only 2 payments of $29.99 or call 1-800-273-5715. Order right now and your shipping is free.
This is by far the best support that I have found.
You feel like, you conquered the world, and it's life-changing.
The all-new X-Back from CopperFit. Feel the difference.
With Dexcom G7, managing your diabetes just got easier. So, what's your glucose number right now? Good thing you don't need a finger stick. How's all that food affect your glucose? Oh, the answer's on your phone. What if you're hitting low at night? Wow, it can alert you. And you can even track your goals. Manage your diabetes with confidence with Dexcom G7, the most accurate CGM. Learn more at Dexcom.com.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Skyrizi.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizi, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Welcome back. We want to give you a look at some of the Christmas celebrations around the world. Millions of faithful flock to churches for midnight mass at the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. Now, because of the war in Gaza nearby, the streets in Bethlehem were not decorated and the Christmas tree in front of the church was not lit. And the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris hosted its first Christmas Mass since reopening after a devastating fire nearly destroyed the historic church. The 5.5-year restoration project cost nearly $1 billion. A Christmas miracle for the Salvation Army. One bell ringer in Hartford, Connecticut, get this, found a surprise when they opened up their red kettle at the end of the night. A generous person had put in a $4,000 donation.
I said, sir, do you mind telling me what you deposited? He says, no, I can't tell you, but I will tell you this. You're going to be the top bell ringer of this week.
Talk about a holiday blessing. It was the biggest kettle donation in Connecticut this season. And that does it for me. I'm in for Marni Hughes. I want to thank you all so much for spending part of your Christmas morning with me, but you're in good hands. You know why? Because my colleague Adrian Bankert is here, and she's up next.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, Nick Smith. Good to see you. And right now, let's start with NewsNation Now.